All right, so you think you know The Little Mermaid. I'm telling you, forget everything. Forget the singing crab, forget the happily ever after. The story Disney sold us, it's a complete lie. The real story, the original one by Christian Andersen, well, it's not a romance, it's a straight-up torture nightmare.
So yeah, let's just get this out of the way right now. This is not a love story. It's not about some girl chasing after a cute guy. Nope, the original tale is about something so much darker.
Honestly, at its heart, this is a story of extreme body horror. I'm talking Cronenberg-level stuff. We've got self-mutilation, non-stop agonizing pain, and it all ends with this horrifying choice. You either murder someone or you kill yourself. Seriously.
Okay, so if it wasn't just about some crush on a prince, what was her real motivation? I mean, what could possibly drive someone to go through what she went through? Well, the answer is a full-blown existential crisis.
Let's actually look at the stakes, because they are huge. Yeah, okay, she was obsessed with the prince, but he wasn't the real prize. See, in this world, mermaids live for 300 years, but when they die, they just turn into sea foam. Oof, that's it. No heaven, no afterlife, nothing. They don't have an immortal soul. The only way for her to get one was if a human loved her so much, so completely, that his soul would literally flow into her. So you see, she wasn't just chasing a guy. She was fighting for her very existence, for an eternity.
And check out this quote from the original story. It shows you just how desperate she was. She literally says she would give up all 300 years of her life just to be human for a single day, all for the hope of getting a soul. That's not love. That's the mindset of someone who will do absolutely anything to escape a terrible fate. So, with that level of desperation, where does she go? To the one person who can help her, the Sea Witch. And let me tell you, this is not Ursula. This isn't some sassy octopus with a couple of show tunes. No, this is a monster, and she lives in a house built from human bones.
Just the journey to the witch's place is a horror movie all by itself. She has to swim through these crushing whirlpools, then cross this gross moor of bubbling mire, and then she has to get through a forest of these living, grasping, slimy polyps. And these things are holding the white skeletons of drowned sailors in their arms. I mean, come on, this isn't some magical land. It's a literal graveyard at the bottom of the ocean.
So somehow she makes it to this house of bones, and now it's time to make a deal with the devil. But this isn't a negotiation. It's a contract for brutal physical mutilation, and the terms, they are absolutely non-negotiable.
All right, let's break down this horrifying contract. 1. She's got to give up her voice. 2. And how does that happen? Oh, the witch just cuts out her tongue. 3. Her tail will become legs. 4. It's a one-way trip. She can never go back to the sea. And then we get to the real kicker, numbers 5 and 6. If the prince marries another woman, then the very next morning, she dies. And how does she die? She dissolves into sea foam, the exact fate she was trying so desperately to escape.
Okay, I have to pause here, because this is the key point. This wasn't magic. Her voice doesn't just float away in some pretty glowing bubble like in the movie. No, the witch performs an actual surgery on her, without anesthesia. This is a physical mutilation. It's an amputation, plain and simple.
And don't just take my word for it. Here are the witch's own words from the book. It's so chilling. Put out your little tongue, that I may cut it off. The story is so explicit. The witch takes out a knife and cuts the tongue right out of her mouth.
So, after her tongue is cut out, she gets the potion. And drinking this thing, it's pure agony. The text says it felt as if a two-edged sword went through her delicate body. The pain is so intense she just faints, lies there like she's dead, and when she wakes up, her tail is gone. In its place are 2 legs.
All right, and if you thought the tongue amputation was bad, this is where the story goes from body horror into a full-on Saw movie. Because the pain, it doesn't stop. It's not a one-time deal. The witch literally builds a permanent torture device into her body. It's a trap she can never escape.
And listen to this. This is the witch's promise, word for word from the text. This isn't me exaggerating. Every step you take will be as if you were treading upon sharp knives. Just imagine that for a second. Every single step. Constant, searing, stabbing pain with every single move she makes.
And this is the horror of it. Her feet were bleeding so much they actually left marks where she walked. But the prince loved to watch her dance. So she danced for him. She put on the show of being graceful and beautiful, smiling the whole time, while every single movement was like being stabbed over and over. She was hiding this unbelievable torture behind a pretty smile.
And what does she get for all this suffering? The prince? He loves her, yeah, but like you'd love a pet. A cute puppy. He calls her his little dumb foundling. He lets her sleep on a velvet cushion outside his bedroom door. He has absolutely no idea she's a woman going through hell. He doesn't see her pain. He never, not once, even thinks of her as a romantic partner.
And of course, it gets worse. The prince is told he has to marry a princess from a nearby kingdom. He goes to meet her and bam! He instantly falls in love. Why? Because he thinks she's the one who saved him from that shipwreck all those years ago. He's got the wrong girl. And for our Little Mermaid, this isn't just a broken heart. It's literally a death sentence.
And then comes this line. It's just the peak of oblivious cruelty. He turns to the mermaid, the one who actually saved him, who mutilated her own body for him, whose death warrant he just signed, and he says to her, "Oh, I am too happy. You will rejoice at my happiness." He has absolutely no idea what he's just done.
So now we're at the prince's wedding night. They're on a ship. The mermaid is standing there, watching them, knowing that when the sun comes up, she's gonna die. But right when it seems like it's all over, her sisters rise up from the ocean, and they've brought her one last terrible chance to survive. And here it is, the final, impossible choice. Her sisters gave all of their long, beautiful hair to the sea witch. In exchange, they got a magic knife. The new deal is simple. Kill the prince, plunge that knife into his heart, and when his warm blood touches your feet, they'll turn back into a fishtail. You get to go home. You get to live. The other option? Spare him and die at sunrise. That's it. Murder or suicide. So she sneaks into the tent where the prince and his new bride are sleeping. She's standing over him. She's holding the knife. And just as she's about to do it, he whispers his new wife's name in his sleep. And that's it. She can't do it. She runs out and throws the knife into the waves.
And then the sun starts to rise. The first rays of light hit the deck, and she just accepts it. She jumps into the water and feels her own body dissolving into foam. The end. She failed. She lost everything. The agonizing pain, the mutilation, giving up her family, her voice, it was all for nothing.
Now, look, the original author, Andersen, he kind of tacks on this weird little ending where she becomes an air spirit and can maybe earn a soul after another 300 years of good deeds, but honestly, that feels like a total cop-out. The real story, the powerful one, it ends on that ship. It ends with her choice to die instead of becoming a murderer, which just leaves us with that one final haunting question. Was any of it worth it for a guy who didn't even love her back?